Hello, fellow knitters. It's Janet with BDDPatterns.com. Thank you so much for stopping by today. In this video, I'm going to show you just how easy it is to knit the seersucker stitch. Let's knit. Let's talk about what I used to knit this beautiful stitch. Starting with the needles, I used a US number 9 or a 5.5 millimeter. If you want to weave in your tails, then you'll need a yarn needle and also, my favorite, a yarn needle threader. Can't do it without those. I used a worsted weight number 4 today, and this is Karen 1 pound in off-white, and just a pair of sharp scissors. All right, let's knit. For this beautiful stitch, we need to cast on in multiples of 4. I've casted on 16. For row 1, we're simply going to do a 1 by 1 ribbing stitch. And all that is simply knit in the first stitch, purl in the second stitch. Knit, purl, all the way across. Super easy, right? Even though this pattern does have 8 rows, they're very, very simple 8 rows, and once you get going on it, it's not hard like some of the stitch patterns that have more than 4 rows. I would say it's not hard at all to find your place. It's very easy. So that's another thing that I look for when I'm doing a pattern that has more than 4 rows. I want to make sure that I haven't gotten into like the 16th row and I can't figure out where the heck I am because I got distracted, and then I have to go and pull out a bunch of rows or something like that. Nobody wants that. I don't want that for my followers either. So all right, and if you've done this right, then your last stitch will be a purl for this row. All right, there we did. We just completed row 1. Row 2 is just simply a repeat of row 1, or it is continuing on with a 1 by 1 ribbing pattern. In other words, knitting the stitches as they present themselves. So again, it's simply knit 1, purl 1. Gosh, don't you love it when you get to that second row? I don't know about you, but in crochet it's the same thing, but knitting, for some reason, I guess it's because I'm better at crochet than I am at knitting. Knitting for me is always the first row. I just almost I tense up and I'm like, okay, it's the first row, here we go. But you know what, I know I'm not the only one, so I don't feel so alone in it. You just got to work through it, right guys? That's it. And here we are, last 2 stitches, ending with a purl for row 2. Ooh. All right, row 3. Row 3 is purl 1, knit 3. So here we go. Purl 1 and knit 3. Right, purl 1, knit 3. Purl 1, knit 3. Purl 1 and knit 3. Yay. And that is the end of row 3. Row 4, we're just going to be knitting the stitches as they present themselves here too. And this is going to be a opposite. So we're doing purl 3, knit 1, purl 3, knit 1, purl 3, knit 1, purl 3, and knit 1. See, it goes by pretty fast too. Well, when you have this amount of stitches, yeah, of course it's going to go by. All right, can you believe it? But we are now at the end of row 4. Row 5, we're back to a 1x1 ribbing, which is just knit 1, purl 1. We're going to do that all the way across. Just knit 1 and purl 1. All across our even amount of stitches. Last 2 stitches. Oops, that one split, so let's fix that. And here we go with a knit 1 and purl 1. And you have just completed row 5. Row 6, guess what? It's the same as the previous row. Another 1x1 ribbing, so go ahead and for row 6, just knit your 1x1 ribbing, also known as knit 1, purl 1. It is that easy. This is a really pretty stitch. It doesn't really show up until you get probably about 24 rows into it, which is 3 times the row multiple. But when it shows up, it's so pretty. It's got some defining diagonals in it, which I absolutely love. All right, that is row 6. Row 7. In the first 2 stitches, you want to knit. So that's knit 1 in each of the first 2 stitches. And now purl 1. Knit 3. Purl 1, knit 3, purl 1, and knit 3. And that leaves us with 2 stitches. And in the next stitch, you're going to purl 1, and the last stitch, you're going to knit 1. And you just completed row 7. And I didn't mention at the beginning of this pattern, but the odd rows are the right side. Believe it, we're already at the last row. This is so exciting. All right, so in row 8, which again is our final row, you're going to purl 1. And then we're going to knit 1. Yep. And now we're going to purl 3. And we're going to knit 1. Purl 3. Knit 1. Purl 3. Knit 1. And that will take us to, purl 3 was the last cluster there of stitches that I wanted to talk about. So even though this next stitch is the same, but that takes us to the last 3 stitches. And now you're simply going to knit 1 and purl 2. And that's it. Those are the 8 rows that make up this gorgeous stitch. I wanted to talk just a little bit about this stitch because I didn't really show you where the front and back was, but this is the front and this is the back. So it's not really reversible, but sometimes the back isn't as pretty at all and you don't even want to see it, but this isn't so bad. And it still has some diagonal definition to it, which is what I really like about this stitch. I researched it and I just wanted you to know that it's got 2 names for it. And one of them is some kind of welt stitch. I couldn't get like a definite name for it, but it was under a welt stitch category. And then the next one that was also there was a seersucker stitch. So either way, I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. And if you are a crocheter, stick around because the cousin to this in the crochet world is the alpine stitch. And we're going to go into that next. Thank you so much for watching. If you knitted this stitch, could you do me a favor? Show everyone by sharing it on your social media and tag me at BDD Patterns. Have a blessed day.